Hello and welcome. So, I'm going to take a look at the Guardian's Quick Cryptic crossword, and this is being published on Saturday the 22nd of February 2025, and it's been set by Ludwig, which is a set we don't see too often. If you haven't seen these puzzles before, then I'll explain it to you. They're an 11 by 11 grid. They're intended to help beginners get into cryptic crosswords. So the other thing they do is they have 4 types of clue. And today we've got naked words, which is a new category, haven't seen that before, but essentially it's take a word, take the first and last letters off of that to get to another word. So the example they use is a fruit or orange peeled is take off the O and the E, leaves a rang in the middle, which is gives you the definition of called. We've then got anagrams, which are nice because you get all the letters given to you. Sound likes, which I know people have problems with because they're never quite sure which version of the sound like to use. And I'll go through those and explain a technique you can use that should normally get you the answer. And then acrostics. And acrostics are nice because you've got the letters at the start of each word to get you the clue, to get the answer to the clue. So I'm not sure there's anything more to say really other than, this is number 47 in the series. And I'll just go through these very slowly and I explain my thoughts. I'm just going to double check I'm recording, which I think I am. So I don't think there's anything more to do than just to crack on. So one across, got a 7-letter word. Toddlers' facilities. So that makes me think of something like a creche. Most blotchy, out of bounds. Gosh, out of bounds would make me think OOB or something. Most blotchy would be est. There's an est in facilities, but I'm really not seeing a lot of that. So my first technique is really just to go through all the clues fairly quickly and see if I can see anything obvious to get some letters on the board. Urge would be yen, to see laughing carnival was skinned. Okay, and in fact an urge is a yen because we've got a hyena, so we take the H and the A off of hyena, skin it, to get to yen. So there we go. Giving signal, so 5-letter word, giving signal to actor waiting in line, you say, well, if you give a signal to an actor, you queue, and waiting in line is to queue, and then we've got you say as saying there's a sound like indicator. Now in this case, it must be Q spelled like that, mustn't it? Now, normally what I say is that the word, the sound like indicates that, and it's next to waiting in line, which would be Q, and then you convert that to get the answer. But that doesn't happen here for some reason. So, interesting. Not sure about that, but definitely 5-letter word says Q, because a Q to a signal actor is a CUE, Q. But that also helps us, means we can put a U in there. Now let's go back to the acrosses. Mixed cruet, 5-letter word. Cruet is 5 letters. Mixed sounds like an anagram. When fighting stops, which would be a truce, wouldn't it? So there we go. Let's see if we can just knock out these 2 clues. Leons, so we've got 4 letters NE. Leon's got N and E in Leon, in disguise as another chap. Now I think that's probably an anagram of Noel, based on seeing what's there. So 5 down, we've got a 3-letter word and a 4-letter word, and that has to be U, doesn't it? We will be heard. We will be heard as Scotsman, then Welshman. 331. We will be heard. We is you and I. Okay, you and I. You and I. So Ewan and die. That's the name of the Scotsman and Welshman. So in this case, we will be. So we is you and I. Will be heard is your sound like indicator, and then Scotsman, then Welshman is Ewan and die, D-A-I-E. Now, will be heard is the sound like indicator, and that's next to both ends of the clue. It could be that we're looking for a word meaning we, could mean that we're looking for a Scotsman, then Welshman. Now, obviously, the letters, the construction of the letters tells you which version to put in there. At least I've got that corner done. Let's have a look at 9 across. Longish clue, 9 letters. Fake, Titian, O, I'm staggered. Now, Titian is 6 letters, O is 7, 8, 9. So Titian looks like it's an anagram of fake. Titian, O, I'm staggered. Staggered would maybe be the anagram indicator. So we're looking for a word meaning fake, but it could be the other way around, that fake is the anagram indicator and we're looking for a word meaning staggered. But if we were looking for a word meaning staggered, I'd sort of expect it to end in D. So I think we're looking for a word meaning fake. Imitation. Imitation is the answer. Okay. Let's continue on the across clues. Squeezed, business, end of candle. So end of candle makes me think put an E somewhere in this clue. Making sounds in Ayrshire town. Oh my. So making sounds suggests it's a it's going to be a sound like. So squeezed, business, end of candle. Wicked could be end of candle in Ayrshire town. Squeezed, business, end of candle. Making sounds in Ayrshire town. I've got no idea what's going on with that clue. Seems a little bit difficult. Let's look at 15 then. Bands of colour peeled, revealing nonsense. So peeled again is telling us to take off the first and last letters. Revealing suggests we're going to get to a word meaning nonsense. Bands of colour. I'm thinking of a rainbow, but that doesn't really, take off the first and last doesn't really seem like nonsense. Nonsense would be silly, but I can't think of a word that starts that could be fitting that. Bands of colour. Bands of colour. Gosh, what are those things you put on it when you get them? When you're trying to get your deck all done and you try and find out what colour swatches. Swatches doesn't really fit. So again, moving on to the next clue, because maybe when I've got some of these down clues I'll be able to figure out what that's about. EU, so we've got a 3 and a 2. EU ups, ridiculous to waste. Now EU ups is 5 letters. Ridiculous sounds like an anagram indicator. So what's waste? I really want to put up in there again, which leaves SUE, up, waste. There's not many things that will fit there. I mean, you can have EU, UP, UE, SE, PE. Again, I'm going to move on to the next clue rather than sit and try and figure it out. Grasp at straws, principally. Empty talk. So yeah, okay. Principally is our acrostic indicator. If we go grasp at straws, GAS, and if you have a gas, you are, it's empty talk. Okay. Enraged sounds like a bit of an anagram indicator. Disturbed also sounds like an anagram indicator. I'm looking for a 7-letter word. Enraged is 7 letters. Disturbed, to see, small bomb. A small bomb would be grenade. Okay, there's the cross. I think I've gone through all the across clues. So let's have a look now. What have we got here? We've got a 6-letter word. One down. Choose. Prison for announcement. Child's play. So announcement suggests there's a sound like. Choose. Prison. Child's play. I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if this cue is right, actually, because as I said, that seemed like give signal to actor. Giving signal. So actually, maybe it's not that. Then maybe it's queuing. Queued. Giving signal. Queuing, but queuing like that. That's what. So okay. So what I said originally is correct. That you say is next to the queuing, which would be QUEIN, and therefore you convert it to queuing like that. So let's go back to this one now and see again. Choose would be to select. Prison would be the can or stir. Choose prison for child's play. I still don't know what the answer is. Okay, 2 down, 3 letters ending in I. Initially, throw oneself into. Second person in France. Now, initially says it's acrostic, and I think TOI could be the next what I'm looking for. Second person in France is it toi? I mean, I second person. Yeah, I think it's toi. I'm not sure about that. Thankless type. So we got 7 letters, G's and A's. Thankless type in fireplace. We're told it's got to sound like fireplace is a hearth or an ingle. Thankless type. Gosh, thankless type in fireplace. So it sounds like a fireplace. That isn't really occurring to me. Okay, four down, 3 letters ending in T. Drunkard, I mean that makes me think sot, S-O-T. Taking sips of tequila, that's S-O-T, to begin with, sot. Word that is very much worth learning in crossword land. Not sure you come across it in the real world, but there we go. So we've done these two, so let's strike on down to 10 down. 7 letters, I and S. Suggests, could be implies. Most affected by rash must be peeled. So we've got a word. So isn't that pimpliest? Pimpliest. So take off the P and the T because they are most of. If you're pimpliest, then you've been most affected by rash. Suggest is implies. Okay. Same again. 7 I and E this time. Trespass. Undried surprisingly well. That I and E, 7 letters. Got an I and E in there. So that must be surprisingly your anagram indicator, which gives you intrude, which is to trespass. At the outset, so that makes me think we might have an acrostic. We've got a 6-letter word there. We've got a long clue as well, I can see that. So we've got S-K-O-P-J-E. Doesn't quite fit. K-O-P-J-E. What's this? At the outset, some kids order precise job evaluation in the city. Oh yeah, Skopje is a city. If I were going for it, I'd say it's somewhere in the Balkans, possibly one of the capital cities. I can't remember. I was just looking at this and going, that's use up. So I remember I had those letters. So use up is to waste. So there's an anagram of EU ups. This one, let's knock this. Oh, you can't see that one. I think it's off the screen, isn't it? Yep. So it looks like it'll be era or something. But let's scroll down a little bit. There it is. Wild, naked for a time. Wild, okay. Yeah, a time is an era. Wild, naked, so what's that? Not bear, wild. So time is an era, I think. I can't think what the word will be. I'll come back to that because I just want to scroll back up and get the screen back to where it was. So what was I on? I was on the downs. Unwisely tags raucous kind of party. I would think that's a stag party, and then I'm thinking tags is an anagram, unwisely is an anagram indicator. So a raucous kind of party is a stag party. Seems reasonable. Omelette, so we've got 16 down, 3 letters ending in G. Omelette makes me think might be going towards egg. Needs this extremely gooey, Gruyere. 4 starters, yeah, EGG is that. Over here, bands of colour okay, bands of colour peeled, revealing nonsense. What's nonsense with that? I will come back to that as well. Squeezed, business end of candle, making sounds in airship down. Now I said wick for the end of candle, and once I've got that, I can remember that Prestwick is a place in Scotland, possibly with an airport. So yeah, squeezed is pressed, which would be P-R-E-S-S-E-D, but in this case it sounds like so Prestwick. Okay, what's going on down here? Thankless type. Thankless type in fireplace, we're told. So actually it's not just a fireplace, it's in fireplace, so it's an ingrate. I'm not sure how you'd spell that in terms, so ingrate, I'm not sure how you'd spell that thankless type. We're told it's telling us the sound like of that kind of grate. So what we've got 3 left now. Let's go back to this one. Toddlers facilities. Most blotchy, out of bounds. Okay, so out of bounds is taking off the first and last. Well, I think that's like the EST thing again. Toddlers facilities are potties, aren't they? Potties, which makes blotchiest the spottiest. So, choose prison for announcement. So pick Nick. There we go. Child's play. Okay, so picnic in this sense is things that are easy to do can be cool. That's a bit of a picnic. So that just leaves me this one down here to try and figure out. Bands of colour, peeled, revealing nonsense. Bands of colour, stripes, which makes that tripe. Gonna just check everything, so I've got it all done this week. Okay, I've done it all this week. This one, so what's wild? Naked. Wild naked, so we need to lose the first and last letters for a time to get to era. So era is correct, because I've checked it. So wild would be B-E-R-A. Feral, I think. Lose the F and the L of feral, which would be wild. Naked for time. So there we go, all done. Hopefully I didn't go through it too fast. As I say, when I got to this one, I if you watched in the beginning, as I hope you have, you'll know that what I said about sound likes is that, you know, to do a sound like, you look at the word where the sound like indicator is, you then look at what's next to it, which in this case is queuing, which would be spelled Q-U-E-I-N-G, and then you convert it to this to give you the answer. And it's pretty much always that way. The problem one was this one here, where you've got heard, be heard as, in the middle. So which end do you go with? Well, in that case, you have to wait until you've got some checkers in, or by the number of letters involved. But otherwise, that was good. We're doing a good job there. A little bit testing, I think, some of those clues, especially those naked answers, as he's called, naked words, as he's called them. So, thanks to Ludwig, and I hope that was useful.